Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to some more Let's Fly Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And it's another viewer request video. We are going to start off in Toronto, and we'll talk about why that is in a second. So, lots of feedback, lots of response from people who are excited about these viewer request videos. In the last, let's say 24 hours alone, I got over 200 emails by themselves. Just emails. That does not count, Twitter messages, Facebook messages, and of course, YouTube comments. So a lot of people are eager to see their hometown. So we'll do a few more of these, but I have to apologize if you sent in a request and you didn't seem to get a response. That's why things are it's just apparently a little bit high demand right now, which is great to hear about. So we're going to do a few different stops today. We're going to start off with Toronto, and I did get a couple of requests in email. I got to give a shout out to Jarrett and to Jude, who both sent in a request to see Toronto, including Toronto City Airport, which is over here. This is live time, live weather. It's pretty gray and rainy, so we will be probably changing the weather to something a little bit more clear once we take off. Maybe we'll take off in the rain, just so that we can get all the visuals on our windshield and whatnot. But we can see the Toronto skyline over here, and of course the CN Tower. It's the Canadian National Tower, named after one of the railroad companies. That was named quite some time ago, but everyone just knows it as CN Tower. In fact, I'm betting if you ask the average Canadian what the CN stands for, they probably wouldn't know. Mostly I know about it because of the movie Canadian Bacon, where for some reason the characters always refer to the tower by its full name, and it just sounds utterly, utterly ridiculous. So, we are in the Cessna 208? I'm pretty sure that's correct, which I've not flown yet. This is a single turboprop plane, quite beefy. Is this the Caravan? Yeah, Grand Caravan over here. You can see it's got some extra capacity down here, and room for quite a few passengers, although I know some of them get configured purely for cargo over here. In fact, I think they're quite common, quite popular as sort of mail planes for smaller areas or something like that. Love the detail in the cockpit. It looks great. I mean, these knobs over here just look all brilliant and beautiful. This seems to be, like, throughout, it feels like there's just a really high quality in Flight Simulator 2020 in general. I was gonna say I should be able to hide the yoke, which I will do. Just make it a little easier to reach a few instruments. So we're just gonna go ahead and take off. And again, we're not gonna be too concerned with proper procedures or anything like these. These are visual tour videos more than everything else. But where's the flaps on this plane? Is that them? Yes. All right, take off. Good, good, good. It should be all configured. When you start on a runway, your plane should be all configured. The only thing is it may not have the altimeter in here, but it's okay. Hold on. Where's the parking brake on this plane? Or let me go and finally look up the hotkey for the parking brake, because that'll save me a lot of effort in these videos. Brake. It does have a filter here, by the way. It filters to assign by default. So if you look up something, you're like, wait, there's nothing configurable for thingy that you're looking for, you might just have to switch this to all instead. You can see here, there's a few more options under brake. Toggle parking brake, control and numpad delete. Alrighty. Control and numpad delete. Maybe that was the default in the old Microsoft Flight Simulator as well. Hey, we're moving! Excellent! Alright, we got some red blinking on the engine over here. I may have, did I over-torque it? Ooh, yeah! Holy cow! Okay, now it's, yeah, there's that classic sort of turboprop lag. It is interesting, it was giving me the warning that we were probably going to over-torque before I ever did. Huh. Oh, you know what I could do is I could open the chart to, or the checklist, so I could get an idea about a rotation speed. Well, we're nearly out of runway, so I'm going to say we're going to rotate, I don't know, maybe about now. 10 degrees up. Yeah, we had lots of pickup there. I'm sure I could have gone ahead and done that a little bit sooner. So we got nothing but gray out the window, and we're not even getting the joy. In fact, I don't think it's raining right here. Oh, that's a shame. We don't even get the joy of seeing the raindrops streak across our windshield. Well, that's possibly true. Now, the gears, there's no gears. I can bring up my flaps, though. There they go. Excellent. And what we're going to do here in a sec is we are going to change the weather. Don't sink, don't sink. Yeah. Sorry. Let me, Or throttle some more. Shush you. Terrain. Yeah. I mean, fair enough. Maybe I should have grabbed one of the acrobatic planes instead of this one. Oh, we are getting a few things streaking across here. Just hitting the windshield and then just, like, rolling off immediately because of our relatively high airspeed. Alright, let's pop outside. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to hit the pause button. Excellent, our little live pause over here. Now, some of the planes I've found, some of the readouts keep updating while you're paused, even though it's not, nothing's really happening here. So some of the planes, I don't know if they respect everything about the pause. First one I want to do is I want to set this at night. Because night in the haze like this, what is this going to look like? Very moody. Almost a little cyberpunky. Here, actually, let's unpause for a sec. What I kind of wish is that helicopters were in here already, although I don't know how to fly helicopters, so maybe that wouldn't work out. Because as I say, a sort of slower tour of Toronto might be good. Woo! What is with the lag there? That was a loading time lag. Unless I've got something going on in the background of my computer, but I certainly hope not. So, Toronto City Centre Airport. Let's talk about this. This is not Toronto's primary airport. It's a smaller one. It's also known as Billy Bishop Airport. I believe Billy Bishop was a World War I flying ace who then, I think, trained pilots for World War II. I think. I might be getting things completely confused, so my apologies if that is the case. But Toronto City Centre Airport is also named that. Now, what's interesting is, let's go to scattered clouds, compare this at night here. It is an island, basically, like this. I think there's a tunnel underground, a road connection over there, and to get off the island, so I think there's buses. I don't know if there's train. I kind of wish there was a GO train. While I've flown into this airport before, I've never, like, gone in and out of it. It's always been a connection on the way to somewhere else. So there's some flights that come from Sudbury, where I live, to Toronto City Airport, and then go to plenty of cities in the States. Ooh, look at the sunset over there in the distance. How special is that? Hold on, you know what's coming. Screenshot. Toggle the view. Screenshot. Excellent. Okay. Ooh, that's probably the Rogers Center over there, isn't it? Let's do daytime. And let's see if we can talk about a little bit more about what's there. There we go. And we're up a little bit into the clouds. It does almost feel like this has retractable gears because of all the stuff over here and the slight, see this slight bit of the chassis? It looks to me almost like it has retractable gears. So I keep wanting to hit the button. But anyway, all right. So we're coming around here. So Toronto, Canada's biggest city, is Toronto City Centre. So Pearson International Airport, the big airport in Toronto, is going to be just over here somewhere. It's really not far away at all. I think like 5 minutes in like a tiny, like Cessna 152. There's bigger Cessna over here, but like a tiny little plane. I think in 5 minutes can fly from Toronto City Centre over to Pearson, which is somewhere in this vicinity. Now, this is Toronto sort of proper. Technically, it's the municipality of the Greater Toronto Area is the township. They went and, like, just incorporated a bunch of extra stuff all over the place some time ago. So the full sort of municipality of Toronto is extremely large and quite spread out. But this is Toronto proper, downtown. So that is the, I'll always think of it as the Sky Dome. God damn it. It'll never stop being the Sky Dome to me, but I think it's called the Rogers Center now. Typically that would be, say, for example, where the Blue Jays play. I think, like, do the Raptors also play there? Don't they use this for multiple things? Or am I just thinking of the, am I thinking more of, like, the arena? Is it the hockey arena that gets shared for hockey and the Raptors? Yeah, I think that's actually more accurate. So my bad over there. And of course the CN Tower, which is quite cool. I mean, you can go up there. It's got a rotating restaurant at the top. Great views. Some people do weird things and bungee jump off it, but I am definitely not one of those people. I think this area down here is known as the Beaches, and it's quite nice. The roads we're looking at down here, I think, is this the Gardiner Expressway? I think it might be. And behind us over here, no, sorry, Don Valley Parkway is, I think, what this is. And back here, the elevated road, sorry, I think is the Gardiner Expressway. And then just sort of under and through it is what is it, Lakeshore Boulevard? Is that what it's called? And they sort of weave in and out a bit. I still have, don't worry, I still have the airframe stress turned off for these tours so that we can do some pretty wonky maneuvers. I mean, if I could avoid the barber pole tape, that wouldn't be so bad here. Let's descend out of this cloud a wee bit. Of course, I could just change the weather again. Not just change the weather, but I could say, listen, I'm going to take this cloud layer and just move it up. The real-time, like, weather and instance response is crazy. I think this is an artificial island, by the way. I think this is a man-made island. So you may have noticed on the world map, I forgot to address this, this is one of the locations in Microsoft Flight Simulator with that star to indicate custom content. I think some of it, like, it's the stars on Toronto City over here. And I think that there was some handcrafted content for Toronto City Airport to make it look as lovely as it really does. But I think some of it includes, like, actual... it's a fact, it spills over from Toronto, right? We've got a custom building for the CN Tower, a custom building for this. We've got a few other custom buildings. Now, can I figure out where Yonge Street is from here? That is something I'm not sure about. So Yonge Street is going to run in this direction. It is a major street. It's spelled like Yonge, Y-O-N-G-E, but it's pronounced Yonge Street. And it's going to be one of these over here. I don't know if I can see the Eaton Centre. Oh, that's, so right here, I believe this is the Toronto City Hall. This building here, which would mean this is what, Queen Street? And Dundas? I think? Look at the shadow of our plane. Can you see it? Right over here where my mouse is? See a little shadow? That's us. Yeah, baby. Queen Street is awesome, especially on the western end of it. You get into a really cool sort of fashion and textiles district. One of the, I would say more than one sort of Chinatowns in Toronto are on the west end over there. There's a lot of, a big college community over there too, because there is sort of college and university in that area, and some cheaper housing, so it's got a great vibe. Lots of really, like, hippy-dippy, hipster, really interesting places. Kensington Market is out in that direction. Yeah, if you ever go to Toronto, those are the places you've got to be. I mean, there's big stuff. Like, you know, there's a cool science center. Yeah, if it's your first time, you're being touristy, of course you'll go to the CN Tower. But it's, yeah. Get out to Kensington Market and Queen West. You will have a wonderful, wonderful time. I have to say, this is very pretty. Toggle print screen. Oh, it looks like I'm crashing in that screenshot, so that's no good. Hold on. Okay. Come back around this way. Pan around like this. There we go. I like so many different unique buildings here. So many unique different buildings. And I wonder, I was going to say, right over here, I was going to say some of these buildings have logos on them. Let me do a little pass right by. Is that the BMO? Bank of Montreal? At the Air Canada Centre? I don't actually know where it is. But that would be the arena. Yeah, there you go. BMO, Scotiabank, CIBC. All these banks have all the buildings. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty close to the train here. Breaking all the rules. Hey, let's just fly to the west a little bit, and we'll do a flyover Pearson International Airport. We'll do that, and then we'll go to our next destination. Because, yeah, I was trying to fit in, like, 4 destinations in this video, like last time, but I'm spending a little longer on Toronto, maybe, than is fair. I feel like the frame rate's a little lower here. There is a lot of objects, and we're also very, very low to the ground. Let me give our engine a little bit more oomph, because we are having a little bit of a descenting issue. There we go. Let's pull back up. Look at our shadow. We've gotten a lot closer to the ground because our shadow's a heck of a lot bigger. So we should get a sign relatively soon. We should get one of those markers. It might be right over there. I think it's out this way. So let's see. You got the Gardner Expressway, which goes out over here and connects to Highway... No, not 400. Because 400... Toronto Downsview, that's not it. 400 comes sort of, you know, from the north, and then 401 goes east-west. Is it the 407? No, the 407 is the expressway. I don't remember. I don't remember what is what. But the airport should pop up here soon. Have I gotten confused about where I am? I don't think so. Oh, it's just way further away. CYYZ. Or Z, of course, because we are in Canuckstan over here. Any fans of Rush, the great Canadian band, they do have their song YYZ, which is, in fact, named after the airport. I've never flown in or out of Toronto Downsview. I think that's mostly much more local stuff. Oh, we got some trains. Parked on some sidings over here. I suspect we're probably over Mississauga now. Again, part of the Greater Toronto area, but wasn't always the case. You can see a lot more residential things over here. Housing prices are still pretty high in Toronto. Not the least expensive place in the world to live in. Apparently I was wrong about maybe the 5-minute flight. Oh, look at the big shadow over here being cast by those clouds. You just nose down a bit, get a little bit more horizontal speed. Oh, yeah, see that we're getting a lot of little hitching. There is a lot of detail in this area, and I am playing on Ultra. Hold on, let me double check that my computer is not doing anything weird in the background. Now, OBS, because I'm recording at 60 FPS, is chewing up 25% of my total CPU. So that's not helping things. Yeah, it's not disk, it's not everything. My CPU is being, hammered pretty high, but I don't think... There it is, there's the airport. I feel like it's probably not the CPU itself. It feels like it might be loading new chunks of terrain, and it may be CPU limited in this particular context here. I mean, we are flying pretty low over a very detailed area with everything set to 100%. And of course, if you're used to flight simulators, you're used to bad performance. But it does stand out here, given the fact that the performance was so good in everything else. So I'm still going to try to cram in 2 more locations after this. But let me just technically fly directly above Toronto Pearson here, and then we'll go and load up the next location. And the next location is going to come from the Twitters. We've got at xSapphire, or Cypher maybe? Could be Cypher, who says, reckon you could do a flyover of Cardiff, Wales. We have a castle in our city, so could look pretty cool. Yeah, I'm interested as to whether or not that's there. I really have to do a flight over Edinburgh as well. Which I did get some requests for, but I'm not going to do today because, I don't want to do all Scotland all the time, although, Scotland is so beautiful, and it's very easy to do. And of course, there's some castles over there too. Now, I don't know if those are areas that have the custom scenery required for the castles to properly show up, because the satellite AI system may or may not properly, figure out, hey, this is a castle and it's going to be rendered in a certain way. Just Toronto Pearson, yeah, overspeeding and getting a little low. I know. Toronto Pearson, big, giant airport. They see a lot of traffic. I think it's one of the busiest airports in the world. Now, I don't know if that's, I don't think it's top 5. It might be top 10. I don't know. I'm sure we get some stats. Probably someone's going to have it in the YouTube comments, so be sure to check down there. But it's got a lot. It's got multiple terminals. There are flights that go all over the world from here, and I fly in and out of this all the time. When I fly places for work stuff, generally speaking, I fly in from Sudbury, land here, do a giant run through, like, sometimes multiple terminals to get to the right place, because sometimes I have tight connections, and then I fly out of there to most places. Annoyingly, usually I can't get a direct flight to Stockholm, which is somewhere I've flown a lot of times before. In fact, a lot of my flights I can't seem to get direct. I'm doing a lot of transfers through, a lot of connections through Frankfurt is a popular location, or Heathrow. Usually one of those two that I end up connecting through to go to somewhere else. So, I mean, it's not as pretty, not as exciting over here, because it is a really flat, cleared area. It's a much more industrial area. You can see there's tons of warehouses and things over here. At one time, it was... Oh, that's chunky. It was quite a little bit more detached from the city center itself, but, of course, everything has sprawled like crazy along the way. Okay, let's go ahead and find our way to Cardiff. Now, I've never been to Wales, which is really disappointing, considering I've been to the GB, to the Great Britons, quite often, but I've never made it out to Wales, although the other people in my household, Sencha and A Kiss for Luck, did. They did a road trip and drove out there, and I've heard some pretty harrowing tales of nighttime driving on some pretty, like, cliff-laden roads, where you couldn't quite see what was going on past the edge, but you were sure as hell you didn't want to go over the edge. So that sounds like fun. I don't know if I certainly wouldn't want to drive through Wales at night, personally. Is this I was assuming Cardiff would be one of the highlighted spots. Where am I? That's Wales, right? I'm not wrong about that. Or does Cardiff not have... I mean, Cardiff must have its own airport. But it might not be called Cardiff. There it is. I just forgot where Cardiff is. Would it have shown up if I click off? Oh, I guess because the search is still up, right? Oh, it was a tiny little dot. Okay, it must... Weird. Maybe because these are maybe more alone and these are near other dots. It's like, no, you got to zoom in before it differentiates. So we'll take off from the ground in Cardiff. Flight conditions, so it's going to be 4 o'clock in the afternoon there. Tell you what, we'll turn on live weather. Yeah, we'll turn on live weather and we'll see what the weather is like. The time isn't quite right. Oh, that's not necessarily true, actually. Yeah, 5:27. Actually, the time is really good here. And there we go. We can see actual flights happening over there. I'm betting after this whole COVID era is over. Oh, maybe I should have changed planes. After this COVID era. Sorry, that's just me moving my joystick on my table here. I think we're going to see a lot more planes in the air in Flight Simulator here. I love the fact that it syncs up some live traffic. And of course, once this releases, I think, because of all the multiplayer aspects and stuff like that, if you turn that on, you'll be able to see other players as well. So there's going to be a lot of different sources for traffic, which sounds really, really exciting to me. X-Plane not only doesn't have very good sort of like communication stuff, right? It also doesn't, like ATC, I mean, doesn't have really good ATC. It also doesn't really have much in the way of really good traffic. I never found it to be very interesting. And in fact, mostly got in the way, so I would usually just turn off the AI traffic, which is really awkward to enable in the first place anyway. I don't know. There were add-ons, of course. That was one of the big things. You went to third-party add-ons for like really good sort of AI traffic, as well as better ATC communications. But nice to have that all built in. Nice to have that all built in. Let's let this little bit play through a little bit. I like this little cutscene. It's quite cool. And I like, it even shows it to you like in pieces, right? Like every step along the way. Here's the plane holding short, waiting for the clearance. There it is there. So then our next cutscene we'll get, it'll probably be on there. That's a cool shot with the wing. That was a really cool shot with the wing. Oh, I like that a lot. That was very stylish. All right, we're all ready to go. Now, from here, where's the actual city of Cardiff? I'm gonna have to open my favorite mapping application. No, sorry, it's not Bing Maps. I am using Google Maps. I'm sure there's someone at over in Microsoft watching this video like, damn, not again. Okay, so where's the airport? Cardiff Airport. Oh, okay, so I basically want to take off and go more or less east. Looks like Cardiff City Center is more like here-ish. Okay, good. Can do. So let's go ahead and do that. Control delete on the numpad. Throttle up, but not so high will redline. You can see it turn red on my little display over there. I already pulled back, but there you go. A little over. A little over. Now, since this is a turboprop, I'm betting we would have controls for the prop pitch and everything, but we're not going to mess with that today. Oh, the last one we took off from inside, so let's take off from outside. Whoa, you get a much bigger sense of speed over here. And I still don't know where the V-rotate is. Let's try 80. Oh, easy. Okay, this can take off much faster than expected. Lovely. Pop back inside. I would say, you know, positive rate, gear up, except we don't have gear to bring up. And all right, let's go ahead and start our right-handed turn. There's some people that really want to see the inside the cockpit stuff. And I gotta admit, like, when we do, like, the big airliners, I mean, that's basically what it's going to be. Once we're at, like, cruising altitude, then maybe we'll go and do some outside views, but there's going to be so much to do inside. Coming around on the north now. Let's pop back out and see what we've got. Oh, lovely countryside, and appropriately lumpy. And the few things I know about Wales is that it ain't flat. And that definitely appears to be the case here. So our airspeed is climbing. And we are not ascending as quickly as before, so let's go and pull up a little bit. All right, we're flying basically directly east. And so that'll be the coastline, because Cardiff is right on the coast, right? There you go, just because otherwise he was going to bug me. He's like, oh, please read back, please repeat. Okay, so I can throttle up a lot more. It must be the load warning. Probably has to do with the prop pitch and things. There's probably some controls I can do there to mess with the RPM a little bit more on this plane. But that's okay. Where are all the sheep? Heard there's a lot of sheep here. So I'm not seeing any skyscrapers. I have no idea what Cardiff looks like in real life, other than the fact that it looks like every single episode of Doctor Who ever. Well, except for the time they go to a quarry, like, just outside of Cardiff. This is a big filming location for, well, quite a lot of TV shows, I think. Speaking, hey, it's actually a nice little segue, because Toronto, a lot of things film in Toronto. Certainly a lot of things film in Vancouver. Vancouver seems to be bigger for TV shows. A lot of movies seem to go to Toronto. I know it's a lot cheaper to film in than a lot of other big cities. There's, you know, tax incentives and different things like that. And it can look like a lot of other cities, which is kind of nice. There's a lot of movies specifically that film in the Distillery District in Toronto, and also at a place called Casa Loma. It's been used for, like, everything. Like, 90% of X-Men movies, basically, are in those two locations, more or less. So I wish I could talk about Cardiff, because I wish I knew more about it. This little, like, marina lagoon kind of thing is very cool. I wonder how much of this is sort of pushed out and reclaimed. Like, was this the natural shoreline, or is the natural shoreline more like this area over here? Because it definitely looks like the sort of thing that this might have been like an artificial construction, or at least expanded. I bet you it's probably a little like 50-50 in here. So this looks a little bit more, it's hard to tell, is that commercial or industrial? Like, I'm wondering, where's the high street here? We've got what I assume is a football pitch over there. A foot soccer ball. Or, well, I said or rugby, but it could be used both. I mean, other than maybe different line markings? Although some of the rugbies, is it the Australian, or is that actually Welsh one where it's like circular in behind? Like it's like a capsule shape. Like, you know, there's like both ends are sort of a half circle, and then sort of, it's one of the types of rugbies has got that, and I don't know what. I can't really get a lot of live rugby here in Kazakhstan, which is a shame because I really, really, really like the sport. I think it's really exciting. I've made the case before that rugby feels like, not in any way in terms of rules or anything like that, but it feels a little bit to me like if foot soccer ball and hockey had a baby, because it has to do with the pace of the gameplay. One of the things I like about foot soccer ball is it basically is, you know, kind of go, go, go. You know, the big exception might be like a throw-in or a free kick or something like that. But even then, it doesn't feel like at any point, like, with hockey, it's like each play is like 45 seconds, and the whistle goes, and everyone stops, and they reassemble for a face-off, and then usually there's a break for a commercial, and yada, 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 yada. Where in foot soccer ball, it's basically just non-stop. And so, but not enough scoring, right? There's a lot of sort of stalemating. Whereas hockey is great because you're going to get 4, 5, 6, you know, goals on average. I actually don't know what the average goal per game is in hockey these days. But it does feel a lot more action-packed and dynamic, except for all the breaks in action. And then you got rugby where it's like, go, 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 but stuff is happening. Big fan. Wish it was easier for me to watch. I gotta say, from the air, this does look really lovely. And I would love to do... what I would love to do is something like a flight that just follows the coast from, I don't know, say somewhere in Scotland, down through Wales, into here. Maybe we could cut across here, cut across Cornwall, and then end up somewhere right over here is like Stonehenge, right? Something like that. I like how I've got my hands off the controls. We're just in this perfect little circle above Cardiff. Okay, let's go to the next destination. So the next destination, I think I was also going to grab from... Yeah, I'm also going to grab it from Twitter. Yeah, this is... Oh my god, we're half an hour in. Okay, it's definitely going to have to be the last one. I wanted the whole video to be in about a half an hour, but... This is interesting. So this is from @nowhere, @nowhere SUI, with a very specific... Actually, like a full flight plan in here. Now, we may or may not do the whole thing. So, Nowhere says, take off from LFZM, Lavru Airport. And it says, take off from Basel, or Basel. LFZM. This might be the right place. Go by the airport code if need be. And then the land But he's got a flight plan for us. Hold on. I'm just going to put in the destination of Gretchen. That sounds correct. So we'll do this. Let's say... No, something's wrong here, because his implication is that this whole flight would be about 30 nautical miles, not 230. I don't think this is the correct airport. What if I try Basel? Shoot. Well, tell you what then. I will just take off from Grenchen and see what I can do here. Because, yeah, nowhere said take off from Basel, LFZM heading 127 for 12 nautical miles over my hometown, then turn heading 130 for 22 nautical miles, picturesque, then land at Grenchen. Oh, maybe this is... Oh, hold on. I think it's possible he didn't describe the entire route. It's possible he just said, turn this heading, it'll be really pretty for 22 nautical miles, and then keep going to Grenchen. Let me try... Basel Airport in France. Code. What's the IACO of this? LFSB is what Wikipedia said. LFZM is what he said. Airport Basel in Switzerland. Yeah, I think he might have gotten the wrong airport code. That may have been all it is. I wonder, maybe I can just fly it in reverse then. You know what? I would like to do this proper. What I'm going to do is I'm sorry, this is a tease. Because of the length and everything, I'm going to put a cut in here, and I'll immediately record the next episode now, starting from, I think, is the correct airport that Nowhere would like me to fly. So let me go and put a cut in here. I'm going to go and immediately start recording the next episode, and hopefully they'll both be on YouTube, but not too far apart. Thanks for watching. Sorry for suddenly GGing out on you guys. We'll just take another look around outside here, though. Whoops. And quickly. Oh, I can tell this is going to be beautiful. I mean, it's already pretty here, and how gorgeous is it going to be once we get off the ground. Okay, let's try this flight next episode. Sorry for all this, folks, but it looks like this is going to be a good one. Thanks a lot for the recommendations, and look forward to doing more of this. See you soon. Bye-bye.